Welcome back, everybody, to another session of Whispers in the Woods. Bookkeeping things. I guess I can just repeat what I just told the players. I probably should have just said this on stream, huh? We've had a lot of thunderstorms here recently, so if I randomly disappear, assume that my power has gone out. And that I may or may not be back, but I'll probably tweet about that either way. In addition to that, I saw Twitch was having a few little issues yesterday, so I don't know if they're resolved, but we shall find out. Other than that, let's do our classic poll. So, previously, on the last session of Whispers in the Woods, the party making their way down into the Forgotten Caverns on the hunt for one of the assassins that had attempted to kill them, who they needed information from as to why they were being targeted. They found themselves in the odd position of instead having to save said assassin, who was attacked and dragged into the caves by an unknown creature. So after delving deep into those caves, they found that creature was a large spider, which had been infected by this combination of fungi that they'd seen before in the forest. That seemed to be able to sort of hijack animals and control them, humans as well. And after defeating the spider on the last session, they found the spider's victims webbed up and captured in one of the back caves. They saw one was wriggling and they cut it open, and it was one of the assassins whom they saw at the tavern where they were first attacked. The assassin was in a weakened state, but she introduced herself as Yasu Mogami. And now the party is faced with the prospect of hauling themselves and their injuries and this injured assassin back up out of the caves, as the assassin, who claimed that she had no interest in killing them any further, told them that she could give them the information they were looking for as long as they didn't kill her and helped her get out of the caves. So where we return, you had just looted the catches that the spider had in its lair and found some gold, which I believe you guys split up last session, as well as a water skin full of an odd liquid. And then, taking stock of your situation, you talked briefly with Yasu, and then had to sort of decide what you're going to do from then on. So we return to the Forgotten Caverns. Let's get our spooky ambiance back. And get right back into it. Alrighty. So, in the quiet caverns deep within the spider's lair, Sybil, you've helped Yasu kind of stand, though she does appear to be in quite a weakened state, afflicted with something similar to what is afflicting Draven. Her kind of pale skin looks to be greenish in tinge. And so the four of you now are faced with what you want to do next. So have at it.
Right.
Did you say that water skin was an odd liquid?
Yeah, it's certainly not water as you smell it, and it doesn't smell like anything you recognize. It's not just like a whiskey or a rum or an ale. It just has sort of a weird, slightly kind of maybe perfumey fragrance to it.
What kind of check would I do to just examine it some more?
Well, you could identify or detect magic or Arcana Check or anything of the sort if you wanted to do anything like that. A general investigation check would probably just tell you what I just told you.
Oh, okay. I guess I'll go for an Arcana check. Oh.
What'd you get? Ooh, nice.
What?
All right. Well, with an Arcana check like that, you definitely sense that there's some sort of magical property to this liquid. You estimate that it's probably not an acid, as it's not burning through the water skin. But the exact properties of it, hard to determine at the moment. But I would say you get from a general sense of it, both from storage, that it's in a water skin, and that it doesn't seem to be all that harmful to you. You get the idea that it's probably meant to be drank.
Okay. Witz will just put that in his backpack, and he will investigate it further whenever we're in a safer environment.
Very well.
Speaking of a safer environment, does everybody think that we're going to be able to get out of here to find one? Oops. Because there's like holding a very unpleasant cave by a bunch of acid ants.
Oh, fuck. There are
Yes, I'm fairly certain that if I trip and fall, I might die.
Okay, then can we long rest in here? Or do we have to go past?
Yeah, do you think one of us could guard the mouth of the cave at a time? Sorry, Mardos.
We can do this.
Yeah, I assume so.
Martos, you're just slightly quieter than everybody else, but I have you maxed on Discord, so make sure that you aren't
hello.
like talking into the side of the mic or something like that.
How am I now?
That's better, thank you.
Okay, cool.
That's better.
The mic was far from my mouth.
All right, then I can go for the rest, honestly.
We're gonna sleep next to dead bodies.
Well, you seem to sure not have a problem with tearing them apart. So
I'm fine with that, but maybe we should put them in a pile in one area. We just sleep in the middle. Everyone stay in the middle.
Okay.
We should also secure the prisoner.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Who is Rope at the moment?
I should have my rope.
I might have Rope still after the climbing down a pit to get Mardos thing. Yeah, I still 50 feet her up. Okay then. I'll kind of bind Yasu's hands, and I do her feet too, guys.
We'll have to carry
Yes.
or drag.
Okay, yeah.
Carry it from there.
All right. Sorry about this. And Sybil's gonna tie her hands and feet.
She doesn't look particularly happy about that, but you can tell that she kind of understands why you're doing it, and just sort of holds her arms out. She's not in much of a position to argue anyway.
All right. So we got 2 tents for 4 people. Where are we gonna put her?
But not in my tent.
Okay.
We build fire, and she just.
Can we build a fire in a cave?
No,
Probably not actually.
I mean if you wanna
suffer.
suffocate to death, we can.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds like a great time. Oh man.
Nice and toasty.
Honestly, with what we've been through, that wouldn't be the worst way to go out.
Mm-hmm. Be slow, half minute or sleep.
Would be the boringest.
So, Martus, what are you gonna sleep on since your bedroll is completely thrashed?
I'm gonna hang out with my beetle,
Oh, all right, very well.
cuddle from afar.
You're gonna cuddle the metal spike beetle?
It's still my bed sheets. Touch it.
Okay. Okay.
Aren't some of the spikes poking through the bed sheets?
Yeah.
That's why I'm just gonna poke it. It shall be a finger cuddle.
Martos, we need to talk about that beetle whenever we get out of here.
Yeah, what am I gonna do with this beetle?
I think we
Well-
can give it to the smithy. Oh,
Indeed.
sorry.
Well, that was my idea as well, Sybil. The beetle seems quite resistant to magic. Perhaps it could be repurposed.
Right,
And by
well,
repurposed, I mean kill it and take its shell.
Yep.
Alright then, I guess we should start setting up the tents.
yeah,
Let's go.
We have to do watches. I will do. I first watch. Watch.
I'll take second.
I'll go third.
Alright then, I guess that means I'm lost. Short tent.
Draven instinctively moves out of the way for the tent that's about to appear.
It's a new spell. It's called.
Sorry,
tent.
I'm metagaming.
No, I just thought that was funny. All right, so you set up your tents in the cave. It's a little harder to set them up this time. It's hard to kind of find purchase, but there's some kind of softer, more dirt-filled areas where you can get a bit of purchase with the tent pegs. And after a bit of a hassle, you manage to set them up. Yeah, so she's just kind of sitting on the ground, her legs and arms bound, and is not really making any attempt to do anything.
Okay. Wouldn't mind terribly if you just slept here for a few hours, right?
I suppose. I don't have
Alright.
much of a choice if you are going to stay here.
We'll get out of here in the morning and we'll see what happens then. See you in a bit, though. Oh my gosh, my mouse is broken, and every time I click on Sybil, it opens up the menu when you double click on her. Oh, it's driving me crazy.
I do that too, Luna.
Little peek.
Just two guys sitting in a tent 6 feet apart.
So Marto's taking first watch. Watching, I'm assuming both the tunnel that leads back to the cavern where you fought the Shroom Weaver, as well as the occasional glance at Yasu just to make sure that she's not doing anything.
Yep, I got my back to the wall. Just surf in between.
I will say, I'll see you later. It's probably the funniest thing you could possibly say to your hostage before you go to bed. I just think that was really funny. Um, but each of you takes a turn. Martos, you stand watch first for a few hours. And the caves are mostly quiet. Occasionally you hear scuttling of something off in the darkness. But it's mostly roaches and smaller insects. You do see an occasional spider. The smaller ones, kind of like one of the little ones that was in one of those swarms that you fought, scuttle past across tinier webs on the cave walls. But they seem to be individual, not guided by any sort of wrath towards you. And your watch goes relatively quietly.
What's that? Make that icon. Is still awake?
She's sitting kind of leaning against the wall, with her hood on, and she's kind of looking down. It's a little hard to tell either way. She's certainly not really moving around much.
Gonna sluggishly walk over to Draven, poke him in the cheek a little bit.
Yes. My turn, I suppose.
It's your turn.
Alright. Alright. Gonna strictly look out that way, but I'm gonna make sure I'm like listening in case prisoner does anything. If I hear any like cutting sounds or rope being torn against the stone or anything.
All right. You spend your watch watching the tunnel, and listening for any movement from Yasu, but you don't hear any. She doesn't appear to be moving really at all. She's just kind of exhausted as well, I suppose. And your watch goes quietly too.
Psst. Sibu, your turn.
Hi, Draven. Thank you. Oh, the mouse thing is driving me. Okay.
Right, so as we're doing all this, you can take the time to long rest on your character sheets.
Am I
Alright.
still poisoned?
Make a con save for me. I'll be doing the same for Yasu.
Nice.
22.
All right. Then you will not be poisoned when you wake up in the morning. So Sybil, you take watch, and no events for you either.
Alright. And hey Zeke? Zeke. Oh, sorry, Wits!
Who's that? Ready to get a
I
new
can-
party member? She's still asleep.
I confused your name. Oh man.
Oh,
That's
I guess
fine.
it's my turn.
Yep, it's your turn.
Alright then.
I'm gonna hop over this body real quick and head back to bed.
Witz will, during this time, he'll ritual cast Identify to figure out what's up with that nifty little water skin.
Alrighty. You take some time to look over this water skin. The water skin itself is kind of woven rather ornately. It looks a little bit similar actually to a lot of the elven garb you saw in Lysindriel, though it has like differences that make it seem distinct from that. It's elven in origin, but not wood elves. As for the contents of the water skin, you finish casting Identify and are able to discern a little bit more about it. You sort of channel your own magic to try to discern what magical properties the liquid inside may have. And as you sort of focus in on it, the potion itself almost seems to echo slightly. And you realize that this potion, a mockingbird potion, after drunk, will allow the next 25 words you speak within 10 minutes of drinking it to sound identical to the voice of a creature you have heard before.
Interesting.
You estimate from the amount of liquid it has in there, probably 5 mouthfuls of it.
It's got a mockingbird potion.
Yep, I'll add it to your inventory.
Oh, okay.
I've added the braces too, and I tweaked them slightly, so we'll see how they are now. I nerfed them a little bit. It shouldn't affect them that much. I just gave them one less use and changed the distance slightly.
Yeah, I figured you were gonna nerf them. That's why I hurried up and used all the charges.
Yeah, we'll see how that works. It might need another tweak in the future, but we'll leave it like that for now. But let me just add this to your inventory too, since you know what it does. Alright, there it is. So you spend your watch mostly focused on that, and then keeping watch on the tunnel once you finish that. You can also take a peek at Yasu every once in a while. She does appear to be sleeping. She hasn't moved much since you first woke up.
That's all I do.
Very well. Then your watch goes quietly as well. And eventually, you don't have any sort of real indicator that it's morning. Everybody just sort of gets enough sleep and begins to rise on their own, unless Wit specifically wants to wake everyone up at a certain moment. Though you don't have much of an indication that it's dawn at all.
Wits does want to wake everyone up at once.
All right.
Wits will use minor illusion right around here to make a loud roar
God.
echo through the cave.
Okay. The rest of you jolt awake as a roar surges down the cavern, echoing slightly in sort of the vacuous stone that you're within. Even Yasu wakes up. It's kind of looking up and instinctively moving your hands, but then remembering that they're bound.
What does the roar sound like, Wits?
It sounds. I'm trying to think how to put it.
It's cool. You can just do it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the best way to put it is it just sounds like, not like a tiger or anything like that, just some sort of large creature that it echoes through the cave.
I need an example so I can roleplay.
Well, since you want to ask so many questions, it's gonna sound probably what it would have sounded like for the depth crawler.
I don't think that thing roared, did it?
I don't. It made rumbling noises. That was more it moving then. it
I
roaring.
figured it didn't, but I like to think of it as like what you might think it would sound like.
Yeah,
I
we'll give
don't
him
know.
like a There you go. Chat got one.
Then Draven stands up, weapons ready.
I'm throwing myself out the tent, just looking around the wild.
She got up in like a second and just grabbed her staff and looks terrified.
Witch is just leaning against this wall, looking through his spellbook as if nothing happened.
Well,
Wait,
Oh,
did
hey.
you see what that was?
Oh, what?
The noise.
What noise?
okay, well, all three of us up. That had a bit of noise.
Oh, I didn't hear anything. I've been sitting here past few hours.
You need me to
Which-
check your hearing?
How did you not hear anything?
I didn't hear anything. I'm serious.
Insight check.
Yeah, deception then wits.
All right.
Holy.
Wits seems perfectly nonchalant.
Damn humans and their inferior hearing.
I'm concerned for you, Wits.
What? I didn't hear
That
anything.
was really, really loud.
Well, I mean, maybe I all just had a bad dream.
Sybil's gonna like turn to the other side of the cave and kind of yell, "Yasu! You heard that too, right?"
Yasu's just kind of sitting up and just kind of blinking. Yes, I was woken by something.
Yeah, see, even Yasu heard it.
Well, I don't know.
Oh, well, okay.
So, there was
Oh, no.
probably gonna be death out there. I hope we all had good sleep before the mini heart attack. We should go.
I'm not looking forward to that.
Or should we stay in here since there's a monster?
We live here.
Why don't we have the prisoner walk first?
Seems.
Come on.
It's probably nothing. I can go first.
They did. You wanted to murder us.
It seems like he'd be a bad lookout right now.
They die until we bring her with us.
Yes, Sybil, he needs to be closer in case. Since he didn't hear the loud roar, he should go up ahead. Apparently, he can't hear very far, so he should get closer.
Oh, what was that, Draven?
I said, oh no, God, I know what he's doing.
Witz just kind of
Maybe-
chuckles under his breath.
Do you think that he got some sort of hearing damage from that fight yesterday?
I think something else is damaged, and it's been that way for a long time, Sybil.
Okay.
It's a little extra rattled.
It's all that heavy drinking,
Witz, while he's picking up the tent, he's gonna cast Minor Illusion again to make the loud roar.
All
Are
right.
we? Is Sybil
This
looking
time,
in this direction?
this time a little bit closer.
All right. You hear the roar once more.
What's your DC?
What is DC? I mean, it's all arbitrary.
No, that's a very important number, and it's 13.
Traven gives Wits the sidest of side eye. And he moves into Martis and Sybil. It's just him casting spells.
Please with the illusion wits.
What are you
Now
talking
I'm all
about?
like sweaty. I'm like sweaty. I just woke up and I'm like sweaty. I'm not enjoying.
Well, it's good to know that if something was here, you'd be ready.
I be sweating and ready. Could even
You're
run.
an asshole, Wits.
Keeping us on your toes.
Thanks for the follow, Bunnyware. So Yasu is where you left her, still tied up. She's got ropes around her arms and her legs.
Driven will untie the leg ropes, but leave the arm ropes.
She
All
kind of
right.
stretches her legs slightly as you untie them.
Come along, prisoner. Follow.
All right.
I'll help Mardos pack up the other tent.
My turn.
Then you spend some time cleaning up your little makeshift camp here in the cave, and everything is packed up once more.
All right. Who wants to walk behind the prisoner to make sure they don't run away?
I guess I'll do that. Oh my gosh.
She just
Jay.
kind of turns to you, Sybil, as you walk by her. I'm not going to run deeper into the cave. I want out just as much as you do.
I don't think you're gonna run farther into this cave either. But when we get out of the cave, then we'll see, I guess.
And there's more than one way to get out of this cave anyway, so.
What were we gonna ask was?
Oh, I was just gonna mention I'm taking another torch off on my inventory to say that it burned through.
Gotcha. So with your little caravan, I suppose, assembled now, your party is gathered. You may move forth.
Sorry. Facing out again.
Just gonna copy you guys in the state that you're in right now, so I can keep that.
Keep us in formation.
That's unfortunate. All right. There we go. So you make your way back down that tunnel towards the larger cavern where you fought the Shroom Weaver. With Yasu just sort of tagging along. She still kind of limps slightly, not standing up perfectly straight, though she does look a little healthier than she did yesterday. So making your way back into this larger chamber, the corpses of the spiders that you defeated yesterday are still as they were.
Are you just gonna move? Are you gonna move Yasu? Us after? Okay, sorry.
Moves Yasu into hole.
Ah,
Oh man, not again.
You must have heard of Mardos' tales and wanted to try it out herself.
fun
It
kid.
is
Wish.
disgusting in here.
You just kind of see her stare at it as she walks by and just kind of mumbles, I never really even got a good look at it. It's hideous.
Yeah, it is the biggest bug I've ever seen in my life.
It was a beautiful fungi bug.
So leaving that chamber, you make your way back to the smaller cavern with the rock formations in it, where you took a brief break after sneaking your way past the group of sulfur ants. And as you approach the mouth of this cavern here to head back down the tunnels, you again start to smell that sort of acrid, bitter smoke in the air. And Yasu just kind of coughs slightly. What's that smell?
That's the acid ant.
Acid
This might be harder with another person, actually.
Yeah, she dies, she dies.
Should be doable.
Is she still tied up?
Her hands are.
Oh, are her feet still? Okay, her hands. Okay.
He's just hopping around.
Draven untied her legs, but her hands are still bound.
She might be able to fight with us if we have to deal with the acid ant. But if not, then we just untied her hands for no reason.
If it makes you feel better, I'll fight for you if any try to go after you.
You'll be protected. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
All right. So, making your way further down this tunnel, then? Are you attempting to remain kind of stealthy as you were last time?
Nice.
I suppose that's a yes.
Sybil, but Draven.
We stealth.
Ha.
Draven rolls.
We're-
Yeah.
Woo!
He's stomping angrily that the prisoner's still alive.
I usually average out rolls when you do sort of a full party stealth thing. Otherwise, one person would
Nice.
you'd basically never be stealthy. And I kind of rationalize that as in the person who's the least stealthy is kind of maybe holding back a little bit, and the others are sort of warning them about things and how to avoid them. The more stealthy members sort of showing the others, oh, don't step on that and things like that. And actually, Yasu rolled a nat 22, so. So I'm gonna say that you guys are pretty darn stealthy today. She is an assassin after all.
Jeez. It's like walking on sand.
So making your way back into the cavern with the soft kind of glowing green craters from the acid that these ants secrete. You look around and can kind of see the glowing bodies of these ants in the distance. None of them seem to be paying particular attention to you at the moment as you sort of sneak your way down the tunnel into this area.
Want to try that trick we pulled last time again?
Oh, what really worked last time was when Amados threw that spider leg.
I think I have like 2 or 3 more. I
Can
have
I do
2
that?
spider legs left. How wide?
That's a giant metal stone
Yeah,
pillar.
you can't throw it over that.
That's a pillar. God damn.
Yeah, hit him with that bank shot and just go. Psh, psh.
Yeah, I think we talked about this last
Got
time
it.
too, but the way that this is it's the same walls as you see here, right? So essentially, this whole big, larger cavern in quotes is more a bunch of little intersecting tunnels
Okay.
from your perspective.
Maybe a good place to boomerang this frog leg at.
Boomerang leg.
So as you kind of peer your way around some of these tunnels, Martos, you can see that in almost all the directions you can take, there appears to be a sulfur ant hard at work melting the stone.
Actually, Maros, I have an idea. Can I have a leg?
A leg. Here you go.
Right. I'm going to take a leg. Then he's going to I guess using the same stealth rules before, he's going to use invisibility
All right.
to turn invisible. And then he's going to kind of is the leg invisible too? Or not?
Within reason, usually the things you hold are invisible.
Well, I'm asking because I don't want to be invisible.
It's usually sort of things that you hold within reason are invisible. Otherwise, a lot of the stuff that you would be carrying would just kind of give you away in general.
Yeah.
Although it is kind of vague with its wording.
I was asking because I don't want it to be invisible.
Like juggle it around. Toss it from hand to hand.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess you can just say he casted it and then he just grabbed it from Mardos.
Sure, yeah. If you want it to be
Okay.
visible, I don't see any reason why I need to be
Yeah.
nitpicky about that.
Yeah. Which is gonna kind of sneakily hold this leg and walk around right here.
All right, you see the two ants here stop what they're doing, stop their melting of the stone, and turn towards it, kind of cocking their heads slightly and examining them.
Ooh, spooky leg. Ooh.
They just sort of kind of make your way towards it, and then actually they're going to, as they sort of follow you, as you move the leg away from them, and they sort of chase after it further down the tunnel, they're going to start spitting acid at you. Of course, they're not really aiming at you. They're aiming at the thing you're carrying, so they're not gonna make these rolls with much precision, but they're gonna fire regardless.
Okay.
All right. So they were decently accurate for the first one, and the second one less so. So the first one hits its mark, and you see the spider leg that you're holding begin to melt about halfway down the leg as you hold it. And the second one misses. But yeah, I'll get to you guys in a sec. I just wanted to focus on this. The way that I rationed this out in my head is if it missed by a lot, I'd say it missed you. If it missed by a very slim margin, then maybe it might have a better chance of hitting you. And it did miss by a relatively slim margin. So I'm going to have you make a dex save for me to see if any of it hits you.
No, it's gonna hit me. It's a 10.
It hits you kind of grazing your shoulder slightly.
Okay. So is it gonna take any damage, or is it just like kind of like just searing the clothes a little?
I'm going to roll a small amount of damage. Oh, well, that was a 1. You take 1 point of damage.
Right again.
1 point of acid damage, but it only kind of grazes your shoulder, so it's not enough to. If it had hit you like directly and splattered your chest, then they might notice that something was weird in the air there. But it only kind of grazed you and burned a bit of you, so I'd say they're not aware that you're there.
Okay. Witch is then gonna just yeet this leg like over here.
All right. They don't see you, so they chase that instead.
Yeah,
And you
that's
see
what
them.
I wanted to do. But like, from where it was, it would have made sense that they would have spat that acid first.
Yeah, they crawl their way along, and you see them kind of spitting more globs of acid at it as they eventually kind of all intersect upon it. So the others, as Witz is doing this, Martos at least, you see this. You see him turn invisible and then grab the spider leg from you, and you see the spider leg float off along the corridor, and you see the ants chase after it. And now you see that one of the paths are clear. So while that was happening, Martos, what do you do?
Looking over my shoulder, watching this, and like beckoning to the group, like time to start sneaking, doing the wave at them.
So the rest of you see Martos make that motion and begin to follow her. You can see some of the ants off kind of behind you and to the left as you sneak your way along this cavern here. All converging on that single point and melting that spider leg until it's just sort of mush.
Whenever they get up to like here, Witz will end the spell and kind of like pat the spot where they asked him. It's like, oh, bloody ants.
Nice job. That was a really good idea.
Yeah, and I don't want to do it again. So let's just keep on going.
Oh no.
Only one cut from it.
All right, so you make your way back along the tunnel here, and as you do, the strong smell of sulfur begins to fade in the air, eventually arriving back at the cave that held that sort of larger mass of webs.
Oh, screw this.
Which one is out?
The massive webs in the center of this cavern here still appears to be quite still. You don't see any movement within it. Yes, it follows you along as you move. Only moving when you guys do, waiting for any sort of kind of prompting to move. Eventually, you find the tunnel that you head down begins to slope upwards, forming that sort of natural rock staircase that you went down on your way towards the spider's lair. And the four of you and your hostage climb your way back up it. The top of this staircase, of course, leading you back to the chamber where you were attacked by spiders initially. As you sort of making your way along the stone tunnels, Yasu just kind of muses to herself, "Heavens, how deep did that thing drag me?"
A really long way, apparently.
Deeper than I wish to go.
And have been very pleasant.
I can confirm it was not.
I'm sorry that happened to you.
Sybil, very good
Might
cop.
be a little traumatized.
Yeah, OOC, I'm amazed at how nice Sybil is to this literal assassin.
The rest of you are like gonna be really mean to her, so
She tried to kill us, but Sid was like, she didn't mean it.
She said she was sorry.
Let the court record show, Yasu Megami, my client, has not actually lifted a finger against the players. Your Honor.
You think Seville would like that giant spider if it said it was sorry?
Yeah.
yeah.
We're pressing accessory on her, though.
We're not much better, okay? Like, she gets paid to kill people.
Oh yeah.
We killed somebody because we didn't like them.
I don't know if you want to bring up accessory to murder there, Draven.
No, I'm not accessory. I'm a what is it?
Accomplice.
First degree? No, not
Oh yeah,
well,
you were first degree.
yeah.
See, we kill bad people plus High Noon.
I knew had to die.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
But the difference between Draven and Yasu, I'm not imprisoned. Can't get charged if you don't get caught.
Yeah. Well, Draven, I'm gonna pull a line from your book. Let's go left.
No, indeed.
So as you round this area, you see more of the large cockroaches scuttle out of the way as your torchlight approaches. But rounding this corner, you see light from outside at the far end of this tunnel here.
Well, we made it.
Put his torch out then.
I'm gonna be happy if I never see a bug again in my life, except for Barry.
Where I can stay. Those lots of caves.
Barry's just like, oh.
Except for him.
Draven kind of cringes and squints his eyes at the light, but continues towards it.
So making your way down this tunnel and back into the rather bright light of morning, you arrive out front of the Forgotten Caverns in the area where you first entered, tasting fresh air for the first time in what feels like ages.
I'm so happy to see sunlight again.
Next time we're asked to go into a cave, I'm not gonna do it unless I get paid.
Yeah, I am all caved out. I do not like caves.
Stay there. Do we know where we're going?
I just want to get away from this cave, if I'm going to be honest.
Anywhere but here.
Bad
Southeast,
memories.
right? I believe it was southeast.
Southeast.
Yasu continues to follow you guys along at your pace, looking a little bit relieved to be back in sunlight. As the four of you and your hostage make your way back through the forest. So are you attempting to retrace your steps back to sort of the safe house area?
Are we trying to get back to the Sindria or to safe house?
Safe house was like our first landmark, right?
Yeah, it's in
On the way
between you
to
and Lysindria.
Yeah, then I guess walking towards that way.
Alright.
Because I wouldn't think we could just like take off through the woods without going there and know exactly where to go.
Yeah, it'd be a little bit harder. You could kind of direct yourself there, but it'd be a bit harder. Especially because you have the same trail that you followed on your way back.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we don't have a compass or anything, so I was thinking like landmarks would probably be the biggest thing.
Alright. Then you follow the trail that kind of leads up out of that cave, back along the forest floor, looking for the drag marks and the old dried blood spatters.
Following the trail of dried blood.
So the rest of you follow along behind Draven as he leads you back through the woods, resuming the trail that you followed to the caves and reversing it back to the safe house. Again, this area is sort of rockier and the trees are a little bit less dense, so eventually you see off in the distance as you travel that same kind of bigger rock formation where the safe house was nestled, as well as the rather battered looking back of that little cabin in the woods. And you eventually arrive back at the assassin's safe house.
Not so safe house.
At first glance, it appears to be as you left it. There's still a very large hole in the back of it.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
You know, I have to say, this is quite the safe house you have here.
Yasu just sort of surveys the damage and says, "That beast did create quite a hole in the side of it."
What beast exactly?
The one that took me.
Yes, but what type of beast?
What are
The
you
one we
doing?
killed?
Spider, no? Are you telling me it was not the thing we saw in the cave?
Draven looks at the hole and compares it to his mental image of the enormous spider. Doesn't match up, does it?
Yeah, it does.
Oh, I thought you said last time that it didn't. Never mind. I'm misremembering.
You're probably remembering me saying about these smaller spiders.
No, I'm thinking about the centipede.
Maybe. The centipede
Yeah,
would
'cause
be
that's-
much bigger.
Yeah, I specifically asked about the centipede. I remember now.
The depth crawler could probably take the entire cabin out in one go.
Oh my god!
Thick boy.
Woo! Well, there's a giant ass worm.
I feel really
out
comfortable
there.
with the idea that
Yeah, it feels very
I
safe.
feel really
that.
nothing lives right next to a city. Ah,
Well, it's dead now.
no, I meant the
Centipede.
other big thing.
No, that's centipede.
One of the many big things.
There was
We might have to deal with that later
multiple
on.
creatures in those caves.
Do you know
Oh,
any
yeah.
legends or anything about giant centipedes? Do you know
Yeah.
any like legends or lore?
No, I don't.
Oh.
But then I'm not from these lands.
Quite frankly,
neither
Austin,
are we.
compared to what we saw in there, you're lucky only the spot I found you.
Would
Yeah.
appear so. I suppose I am still alive.
For now.
Raven.
Well, you know, anyone could die at any moment.
Just don't try to stab us and literally you'll be fine. Maybe.
I have no more intentions of harming you, as I said before.
High five.
Alrighty then, well, listen, Drow isn't getting any closer. Walking right here. Start talking about.
Oh, is there anything in the house? Mogami? Is that how I'm saying it? I'm gonna say it. Is there anything in the house that we should get?
There was food. There was some supplies in the cellar.
No, stuff. Do you have any notes from your boss?
He speaks mostly in person. He's
Oh, that's good. That he's smart.
Oh.
Girls.
What's his name, by the way?
Vincent.
Vincent.
I don't-
Yeah, he looks like a Vincent.
Witzel used minor illusion to create the bust of him right here.
Here, give me 1 sec.
Oh, yeah, you're right. He really does look like a Vincent.
Yes, that's him.
Yeah.
Your illusions are impressive.
Witzel will snap his fingers, make it disappear. Well, they've got me this far, so I guess you're right.
You wind your way around the rock formations down the sort of narrower path that sort of hid the safe house from view from further off in the eastern forest, and eventually arrive at sort of the denser trees, making your way back towards Lysindriel. I'm not going to make you guys walk a ton. So as you make your way back towards the Wood Elf City, you eventually find that the forest around you begins to become misty, covered in that layer of fog that you recognize. And you've been to and fro the city, from the city a little bit now, so I'd say you'd be able to recognize it a little bit better than you were on your first arrival there. And after a little bit of wandering in the Mistwoods, you eventually find the lanterns that light the entrance to the city.
Oh. Do you think they're gonna say anything about her being chained up? Telling them.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we did say we're going to we're looking for assassins.
Okay, so that'd be cool with it. Hopefully.
As you sort of make your way towards the platform that weaves its way up into the rocks where Lysindriel lies, you hear a bird call ring out through the forest, a little bit louder than your average bird, and see several of the forest guard step out from behind trees. They're holding bows, but they're not drawn or aimed at you.
Friendly wave.
You see one of them kind of nod
Friendly
at you.
wave.
Wave, but not friendly.
Just unsatisfied wave.
Yeah.
They sort of nod you through, just sort of proving of your access to the city. And you wind your way back up the long staircase through the rocks to the wood elven city of Lysindriel. Just give me 1 second. All right. So making your way up back to the center plaza at the entrance of the city, you can see Tenneth waiting. He's leaning against the fountain here, chewing on a piece of straw. Yasu kind of looks around, almost in a bit of wonder, at the city as you make your way into it. So this is Sindriel. I'd never been.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
Yes, I wonder if they have a jail.
Maybe nice fountains.
That's what they do, Draven.
Well, you can see that too, then, Yasu.
Tenneth kind of nods his head for you to approach.
Greetings, Tanith. We seem to have found one of the assassins we were looking for.
All right.
And Draven will kind of move aside and gesture to Yasu.
I was going to ask who your friend was. So this is one of the folk you were looking for?
Not the specific one we were looking for, but one of, yes.
All right. I see. Well, as long as you're watching her, she can stay in the city.
Oh, I wonder if the people who are lodging us will let her, or let us bring her in.
Yeah, you guys wouldn't have some sort of prison or cells.
Temporary housing.
Well, friends, we don't exactly get many visitors in general. Never mind hostages and prisoners. We're often used to just executing interlopers on site.
My man.
You folk are staying with the Venmars, right?
Yes.
Windmars? Yeah.
I'm gonna have a talk with the Patriarch of the Venmars. He should be able to make some sort of ward, alarm spell and whatnot. You folk haven't giving them any reason to be hostile towards you, right? You're still in friendly company?
Oh no, we're still friendly with them.
We are wonderful guests.
Alright,
Only
good. Then
Great guess.
they should be willing to listen to what I have to say then. As long as you aren't causing them a hassle.
All right. Well, appreciate your considerations there, Tanner.
He makes his way over to Yasu and just kind of sizes her up a little bit. This one's a spell slinger. You're going to want to keep your eye on her.
Ooh.
Well, alrighty then. To the Venmores.
Does anyone have any spare cloth?
I have holes in my.
Yeah, I
With
think Mardos' bed sheets are ruined.
Martos, let me get some of that bed sheet.
It's breezy. I'll hold out the bag.
Dragon will take his dagger and cut off a thin strip of it, and gonna ball it up and stuff it in Yasu's mouth.
Alright.
Oh my god! This is a
Wait.
straight prisoner.
He said she was a spell slinger.
Yeah, I mean, right.
She looks slightly annoyed at you doing that, but isn't really in the position to put up much of a protest there.
You have a good pat on the shoulder.
Make sure the binds tied around her hands are tied around her fingers as well.
Very well.
A finger wiggles around us.
With
Sorry, I'm
smirk.
following you guys because
Yeah.
I never remember which way to go.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Is this the right direction, or are we just following Elf Cowboy?
Follow.
I mean, yeah,
I'm sorry, I
that's...
didn't remember his name.
No, that is
Sir.
what he is.
I like it. That is exactly what he is.
You tell me his name isn't Sir Yeehaw?
Oh god.
Alright, so you followed Tanith along the winding path up to the Venmore estate. With a bound and gagged Yasu walking along beside you. Winding your way back up these stairs, you see that Michio Venmore, the daughter that you'd spoken to before, is out front. She appears to be just gardening in some of the potted plants out front of the estate. Tanith kind of approaches first and says, listen, Mishia, friends here, ones who are staying with you, I had a bit of a request. Perhaps they can explain a little better than I can, though.
Sybil, you should probably explain. I don't think you want me to.
Oh, I have a chip in my mouth, I'm sorry.
Where'd you find that?
Yeah, you don't want to stay
Nowhere,
with Draven?
okay.
Floor chip.
So we initially came to Lysandriel to look for some assassins that were after us, and we found one. This is our friend Yasu.
Fred?
And apparently since
Not a
we
friend.
don't have a jail, and we have to look after her, we need a place to keep her.
Or a place to dispose of the body.
No.
We're not murdering. Hopefully not murdering.
Yeah, Father could probably ward one of the rooms.
Oh, we should warn you. She is a spellcaster, so I'm not sure how that may affect
Well,
anything.
I've yet to meet a spellcaster who could beat Father, so
Good to know.
I'd say good luck to her. But why don't you come inside? I'll go get Father.
All right. You all coming? Okay.
Yasu just kind of muses. This is a massive house.
I know, they got a bathtub and everything.
So Mishia dashes her way off, turning down the hall towards Sephion's study. And makes her way inside. Tanith just kind of leans against the wall by the door. Eventually you see the two of them emerge from the study. Sephion looks towards you, Draven, as you're the first one he sees, and says, I understand you had some sort of need of me.
I believe my companions can explain better. Draven was like in the middle of kind of sneaking off to the kitchen.
Yeah, we have a prisoner from investigation, and while she hasn't been hostile to us at all, she is still not on the right side. So we would like you to maybe enchant a room to keep her in.
He kind of strolls towards the rest of your group and kind of examines your prisoner, then looks down the hallway, seeing Tanith kind of leaning still a bit by the door. Tanith just kind of gives him a little two-finger salute. And Sephion just goes, I thought we said last time was the last time, Tanith.
Oh.
Situations you get in.
I suppose another favor. All right. A dining hall, probably the best. No windows. This room over here.
All right.
Can I do a quick investigation check to see if I find any meat whatsoever in this room? I know there hasn't been like the last 2 or 3 times I've checked. I just
Yeah, go ahead.
okay.
Raven hasn't tried harder to get anything.
You find a small little cloth-wrapped parcel of some old-looking dried jerky. It appears to be just kind of completely untouched. A purchase likely a long time ago that has not seen any use.
All right, that's going in my pack.
Did you run out of that other meat that we found?
What meat?
You remember we found meat from the safe house? Like it was like dried meat or something.
Yeah.
You can also probably get meat from the beetle if you eat beetle.
Yeah, we're in Elfland. I mean, there's no telling
Luxury
how
meat.
rare it's gonna be for me to find meat that's not monster meat. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Draven doesn't eat meat. Does he just like go into berserker mode or something?
no, he just gets depressed.
Oh, okay.
Aw.
Yeah, he's a reverse vegan.
Aw.
All right. Sephion
okay.
calls from within the dining hall. You may enter as well.
This is gonna stand right here and be very observant of his spellcasting.
All right. Do you know anything of your friend here's capabilities?
Tanif just said she was a spell slinger, so...
Yes, a caster, Teneth and his slang.
Mm.
Alright, perhaps more thorough examination then. He walks up to Yasu, who's just kind of standing there, still with the rag in her mouth. And he just sort of places both of his thumbs on her forehead. And then, Wits, from your perspective, you see his eyes just go completely white. And you see Yasu just kind of freeze and stand stiff for a moment. And after a moment of silence, he removes his thumbs. You see his eyes regain their color. And he says, a pyromancer then. Alright, shouldn't be too difficult to seal. Have a seat, friend, he says to Yasu, and just sort of pulls out the chair here. Now, do you wish to speak more to your friend this evening? For the rest of the day? Or,
That'd probably be preferable.
Very well. We can plan around that then. He pulls a necklace kind of out from under the tunic that he's wearing. And he sort of pulls it off of his neck and then wraps it around his hand so that the crystal on the end of the necklace sits kind of at his palm. And then he just sort of places his hand on Yasu's shoulder. And you see, with the blue sort of light, chains begin to just wrap their way around her, from her legs all the way up to her neck. Alright, spectral chains, and warding for the room. I think fireproof shall do. And he just sort of then begins to get to work. You see him just kind of wrap his knuckles across certain parts of the floorboards here. Alright. And over here as well. And then which you see him draw sort of symbols with his finger, etching almost kind of runes, invisible, along the wood. In each of the corners. And then the rest of you see the room just kind of glow for a moment with a blue light, and then it just sort of fades away. And where he drew runes in each of the corners, you now see that runes sit. Alright, that should do for a night or two. And once night rolls around and we're all off to bed, I shall cast an alarm spell as well, so we shall know if she or anyone else makes any movement within this room. Does that sound good to you all?
Okay.
Excellent.
Very well. Yeah, she is incapable of moving, and her fire magic should be sealed, so I will be back in the evening to cast an alarm spell. And with that, he strolls his way out of the dining hall, leaving you all with your prisoner in peace.
Are all the runes, like, we could see them?
Yeah, they're just sort of like faintly drawn where his finger traced them.
Alright, Witch is going to copy that down in the back of his spell book.
Alright. So Yasu's now seated in one of the chairs. You can see these sort of blue spectral chains wrapped around her, and she still has the rag stuffed into her mouth, so she's not able to speak.
Should we take that out now, Draven?
I suppose. Draven will walk over and remove the rag.
Yeah, she coughs kind of slightly, and as you pull the rag out and says, I'll write. Now what?
No idea.
Honestly, we just want to know why you're going after us.
And what your boss said.
We have no real vendetta besides that.
Well,
You have a okay, yeah, kinda.
I'm not particular to groups trying to kill me.
Yeah. Witz will come and sit down in this chair, and he'll pull out the copy of that letter. That led us to that safe house and show it to her. What kind of meeting was this letter referring to?
She kind of scans it over. That was letter for Yorick. Yorick was one of the operators we worked with for this job. She kind of scans all of you. Yorick was a bandit leader. Vincent said we needed more people for the job. So he recruited a bunch of bandits, skull crushers or something like that, they called themselves. But I imagine if you have a letter like this, you've met Yorick already.
I'd say we met York. Maybe once.
Well, Vincent doesn't exactly allow me to read all of his letters, but this sounds like a meeting between him and our client at the safe house that you saw in the woods.
All right, and who is this client?
That's, I suppose, a bit of a difficult question. I can't answer you most to your satisfaction, most likely, but I can tell you what I do know. Vincent usually keeps most contact with clients to meetings between him and them. I more just stand watch upstairs while he holds meetings. This one, she, black-haired elven woman. I saw her several times. Yeah, he would often leave the safe house with her and then return, hold meetings there, and then occasionally he would head south to meet with Yorick.
Wetzel put his finger on the table and use minor illusion to remake the portrait of the black-haired elf woman that we got from whatever her name was. I don't remember. It was Sibo. Yeah,
Yep.
That picture and make it appear on the table. Oh, was it this woman here?
That one?
Yep, that one.
Yes, yeah. That's what she looked like.
Where have you last seen this Vincent
Um,
or this woman?
Well, I was at the safe house. He met with her and then left with her shortly after. This was after we headed north to the safe house. It should have been just after we ran into you four at the tavern. We got to the safe house. Vincent and Yorick stayed in the swamps with his bandit crew. And we waited at the safe house for a little bit, and eventually client arrived. And then he headed off with her. He told me to wait a few days, a week or so, and then from then on, I was free to do what I wanted until the next job.
Right then, and do you know where they went off to?
That part is difficult to explain. I believe when he would leave with her, they headed north, but listen, there's something odd about this woman. Nothing sat right with me about her.
Oh, and what would that be?
Well, I only really watched it once, but sometimes when she would leave with Vincent, they would sort of melt into thin air. Now, I know spells. I've seen people turn invisible. It wasn't that.
AJ?
Yep.
Would you describe the thing that the weird man in the woods who approached Sybil did a thing similar to that?
I would say relatively reminiscent of it. It's probably not identical necessarily from how she's
Okay.
describing it, but I would say enough that you'd evoked it in you. So I would say yes.
All right.
Alright then. So how long exactly you think? Whenever you were attacked since the last time, or I guess between whenever you were attacked and the last Vincent and this woman left.
It was only a few days. As for how long passed in the caves, I have no idea.
Well, it can be anywhere on this bloody continent.
The woman, you all called her Beatrice, right?
Yes.
That was the name we were given upon asking about her.
Yes, I never heard her go by that name. Vincent always called her Beira.
Beira.
Probably just an alias then. Beatrice, that is.
I imagine so.
Now, is there anything you know about some deadly black mold in the forest? Could that have been any of her doing, or anyone else in your organization?
Oh, and for the record, it technically was the black mold that attacked you, since it was infecting that spider.
Black mold, no one in Silent Song has any business with something like that. As for the actions of our client, that I can't say.
What was your client's goal upon hiring you? Or goals, plural?
Well, she wanted you folk dead. That's all I was told. Whether Vincent knows more, he never told me.
Do you have descriptions of us, or just the descriptions of the signets on our hands?
Well, that was why it was hard to find you all. We were told that we had no descriptions, only the sigil.
Oh,
Did
I-
he say
what was
how
you-
many of us you were supposed to find?
I'm
Uh,
missing that one.
the number Vincent told me was 5.
Did you ever find one? Besides us?
Well, when we were sent to the tavern, Vincent told me that the 4 of you, well, it turned out to be the 4 of you, we didn't really know when we headed there, were meeting. Vincent told me he handled the 5th himself.
Oh.
As to the veracity of that statement, I can't confirm it, of course, but
That sucks.
Besides the safe house that we stumbled upon, where you were abducted, are there any other locations that Vincent might be hiding out at around here?
well, the only thing I could suggest is wherever they go and they melt into thin air.
I believe her OC, but I want an insight check.
Okay. Yeah, you're a little kind of. There's no real way to necessarily tell if she's hard lying, but she doesn't seem like she's bullshitted you guys at all the whole time.
Okay.
Are there any other locations, safe houses, any other areas that your organization has that he could be?
Well, Silent Song does have a few safe houses in some of the cities, but I really doubt he would head there after a job. It's really only bringing more attention to yourself to arrive in a populated place.
Any other ones outside of the nearby that aren't the one that we found?
No, not really. We've got one in the south in the city and one in the far, far northwest in the city, and this is the one in between. At least those are the only ones I've been told of.
Do you know where Feyre likes to hang out? You probably see her more than Vincent.
No, I've seen more of Vincent than her. She only
Really?
showed up
Damn,
to
damn.
meet with Vincent, and then occasionally Vincent would leave with her and they would melt away, as I mentioned. I've not spoken with her alone myself. I was only really just introduced to her briefly when we were given the job.
Are there any other groups that your organization is working with other than the Skull Crushers?
All of Silent Song, that's impossible for me to say. For this job, it was me. I'm an independent. Vincent, who is one of the troop leaders, and then we contracted out with the Skull Crushers.
Well, I don't have any more questions. Not right now, at least.
Can't think of anything either.
I don't have any questions, but I still have questions. You like jazz?
Well, the room falls silent as you sort of run out of questions to interrogate Yasu with. And she just kind of, as everyone sort of pauses and thinks over what she said, she just kind of, What? What's to happen now then?
Do
Oh,
I
how
have a suggestion?
No.
Oh,
Fine.
really could work though.
Do you have anywhere to go back to, Yasu? Besides,
Well, after a few more jobs, I was planning on going back home overseas. After the events of this one, I may make that trip earlier now.
you have enough money for the passage back on a ship?
I believe I should have enough to cover it.
Alright.
Oh wait, how
Oh.
did Silent
yeah.
Song contact you? Sorry, I just thought of it. It was helpful.
Well, for this job, Vincent always contacted me in person.
You guys never had a meetup spot? He would just come to you.
Well, we were just at our meetup spot.
That's the only meetup spot y'all had. What are y'all even doing here?
Well, I believe the idea was that Sindriel is central to a lot of places in this kingdom, so it was not an incredibly long distance from anywhere.
Well,
I think we have some things we need to get done around town.
Yep. We should see to it then. I don't think we have any other questions for today. We'll certainly keep you overnight. But between you and me, you probably won't die unless if Draven just feels itchy one day.
You just kind of try to crane her neck to look at Draven slightly, but she's not really able to.
Truman's got his dagger out and he's just kind of picking at his fingernails.
perhaps we should go see Ilseville. Was that her name?
Yep.
Well, we. Okay.
Oh.
Yes. Success. See if she any more ideas or found out anything.
Truman does the little two fingers pointing at his eyes and then
Draven,
points them
no.
at Yasu. We're watching.
Did you re-gag her mouth or just leave it?
I did not regag her mouth.
Alright, I was just wondering because I wanted to know if she could say anything to you.
Yeah.
She just kind of says, Ken, I have no intentions of harming you. This job just... I shouldn't have taken it.
Yes, well, I'm certain you have no intentions of harming us now. However, what you have done in the past remains. And I will not forget it. Probably.
Witz will cast message to Yasu. Don't worry about him. He's a big softy.
Little murderer. He's a softy.
She does not receive that message.
Oh, because oh.
Well, damn.
Well, I don't know what else everyone wants to do. However, I think Martos and I have a beetle to smash and repurpose.
Oh.
Speaking of
That's
beetles,
all we
how's
got.
little Barry
Oh.
doing?
Oh, how is Barry doing?
He's still perched on your shoulder.
Oh, I'm gonna give him like a little head scratch.
Some would say he's vibing.
Anyway, I think I'm gonna go over to whatever that other noble family's name is who are curious about the black mold. and I don't know, give them our findings on it recently.
All right. Martos, you ready to see a man about a beetle?
Wait, what was her name again?
No, she
Mishia.
said, be right back.
Wait, I didn't hear what you said.
Let me type it for you. Mishia.
Mishia. Which kind of like wave? Oh, Mishia, wait.
Yeah. What's that?
Just to put you at ease, he'll pull out all the the parchment that she had given him, and just show her the stuff. Just to put you at ease, this is basically just all the stuff I had used, since I know you were concerned about lending me some parchment.
Yeah, you folk are trustworthy from what I've seen. You can hang on to all that if you want.
I shouldn't need it much longer anyway, but I appreciate it. And one last thing, is your father busy at the moment? I just wanted to peek in and ask him something.
Well, I imagine he's gone back to his work, but you could ask him if he's in the middle of something.
Alrighty then. It's just gonna walk on over to the office and just knock on the door.
Enter. You may enter.
Hello, sir.
Yes, was there something wrong with the prisoner?
No, nothing wrong. She was quite
Ah,
cooperative, fortunately. Just wanted to ask, perhaps tonight, would you like to have a discussion? There's a few things that came up in the interrogation, and there's a few things concerning magic, as you are quite the expert as well, that I wanted to kind of just run past you and see.
Alright, I suppose this evening before I cast the alarm spell before bed, we can have a bit of a chat if you wish.
Alright then, perhaps maybe over some wine?
Very well then.
Alright, always gives the edge off after all.
Of course.
Alright then, I will see you later tonight then.
Very well. As you kind of make your way back to the door, Tanith is still waiting there, just kind of leaning against the door. We all good here? Am I through?
Indeed.
Alright, right as rain. I will be at the forest guard station if you need any more assistance. You all have a fantastic day.
You as well, Tanith.
Thanks.
Yourself, cowboy. Okay.
Alright then, let's go see about this beetle. It'd be faster if we go up this way and then take a right.
It's about the same distance.
Oh, okay.
Slightly faster, maybe. You gotta wind your way around the rocks anyway.
I'm following you. It's canon that Draven's good at tracking things through the woods, but sucks at navigating cities.
Oh, how convenient. It's quite the opposite for wits. Although he kind of considers this more of a forest than a city.
It's a bit of both. Bit of column A, bit of column B. You wind your way back around the rocks to the Wenowin Lake House, where the path branches off towards the right.
We should probably warn them that if they're to see Beatrice again, to notify the guards.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Draven will knock on the door.
After a short pause, you hear footsteps and the door opens. It's the eldest Wenowin daughter.
I don't believe we met last time we were here, but we spoke with your mother and your sister, I suppose. Just wanted to give you all a heads up that that Beatrice woman that was staying with you is affiliated with assassins. Perhaps if you see her again, you should notify the guards.
Oh, all right. Goodness. I suppose I'll do that then.
Indeed. Well, have a nice day.
You as well.
That was my good deed for the day.
That was a very good deed.
Or like good day for the week, but still good job.
Sorry.
Oh, Draven, you could have asked her money for that information.
Draven seriously thinks about going back, but he's already making his way away from the building.
Goes back and says, "Hey, I might have been lying back there, but I'll tell you if I was lying or not for 20 gold."
Alright, you guys are over here. So you make your way kind of away from the lake and over towards the sort of northern grouping of buildings that made up the tailor and the blacksmith and a few different houses in sort of central Lysindriel.
Blacksmiths, right? Or
I think that was right
it
down
was this
here.
one. It was this one.
Oh, nope, it was that one. Oh, okay.
This was
That one was
like
the tailor.
the tailor.
oh
Yeah.
god.
This one.
And as we've learned, this one is someone's house.
Yes, sorry, house.
We should go there. That house is cool.
Just gonna walk right in.
Alright. The door is open. So the blacksmith himself is bustling about at work, carrying equipment and half-made weapons as you enter.
He has some really good conditioner.
He's an
Sorry.
It comes with the territory.
He's luscious.
Instead of natural oil in their hair, it's just natural conditioner.
Yeah.
Magic hair products.
They can make a killing off of this.
The greetings.
Is there something I can help you with? Here to buy something? Here to have something made?
I'm gonna hold out my beetle bag, shake it around. Maybe.
Was possibly wondering if I could get a custom order. Well, depending on the price, of course. We will supply the materials if you could supply the work. Martos, please open up the bag and show him.
Shit.
Alright. Let's have a look.
Walk over, untie a little bit. If you can. Hey. This is a beetle. A gold beetle.
What in the name of Athar is
Please.
this? Where'd you find this?
Woo! It's a story.
For another
We have very dangerous caves around here.
I see. What was your request then?
Draven will hold out his buckler that he has strapped to his arm and just show it to the blacksmith. Possibly repurposing this beetle into a buckler.
I see. You are aware this beetle is still alive, correct?
Yes, well that can be solved quite quickly.
We can kill this beetle.
We will kill this beetle.
Well, that will need to happen if you intend to turn it into a buckler. Well, the shell is approximately that shape and size. I wouldn't say that's impossible.
Well, that's good news. What would the price perhaps be for such a task?
Well, that would depend. What's the properties of this material the shell's made of?
I'm not sure exactly, however, it does seem to have magic reflection properties as far as the magical capabilities of the beetle.
I'll need to examine it a little bit further. Is it possible to unwrap it a little more?
Alright.
We might want to wait until we kill it.
Well, is there a reason you haven't killed it already?
Well,
Be my friend.
it's not. We weren't sure if there was anyone interested in case of purchasing it, but we probably just go ahead and kill it. You never know with these sort of things. You know, it's a creature we've never seen before, so keeping it alive might have been more useful. But now that we've made our decision, we can kill it.
I see. Well, if you'd like to do so, I imagine you're more familiar with it than I am.
Should we do this out back then, I suppose?
Definitely do this out back.
Alright, Martos. I'll stab it in the face.
And
Okay,
don't
I'll
worry, I'm sure they'll clean it out
brown.
before. You don't have to worry about dealing with any beetle guts.
Man.
I
If
see.
it'll
I
clean
would
it just fine.
hate to have to mop up the blacksmith shop.
Yeah, don't worry. That half-orc woman right there, she's already scooped plenty of stuff out of bone and other stuff, so I'm sure she'll take care of it.
I see. Tad worrying? Alright.
Well, that's how she got her skull helmet, after all.
Course.
Sad word.
Course. So, Draven and Martos, you take the golden beetle.
Alright, as well as I can.
Out back is sort of just rock formations and trees, but
Alright, hold him still and I'll stab him in the face.
Okay, hold on. Put the bag on the floor, put my foot over the knot, hold it down still, and be like, alright, try stabbing it. I'm not getting pointies at me.
Alright, Draven takes out his rapier and just jabs the thing in the face a few times.
so you kind of take a first few stabs at it. The head itself is also made of a rather hard carapace and doesn't really give at all, though the carapace itself does have a few gaps to allow the joints to move. Just stabbing it in the face might not do much.
It seems that he's quite resistant to being stabbed in the face as well as magic. There do appear to be a few gaps, though. Make sure you hold him very still, Martos. I don't want to damage the product.
Oh god.
Draven will attempt to stab in between the gaps.
Alright, yeah, with a kind of long, thin blade like a rapier, you can manage to, once Martos wrestles it and holds it still, slide the rapier down one of the joints in its armor. And then you see it kind of wriggle its legs slightly and then fall still. And you have slain the golden elm beetle.
Any beetle goo coming out?
Yeah, when you pull your rapier back out, it's sort of covered in this viscous-looking goo.
Oh god, do I do it? Yeah, Draven would. He's gonna like wipe some on his finger and just kind of lick his finger.
Alright, it certainly doesn't taste like blood, but it is just sort of viscera and goo from the creature.
Nice.
Well, it's not what it's not my favorite, but well, it's dead now. Perhaps the blacksmith will clean him out and we can have him save the innards.
Okay, yeah.
I'll share some with you, Martos.
Oh, thank you. Maybe get some bread and dip it in.
Sounds lovely. Draven will stuff it back in the bag then, and carry it back towards the blacksmith with Martos.
All right. Make your way back into the blacksmith shop, dragging the carcass of the golden hound beetle along with you.
We bring a gift.
The deed is done.
Oh,
All right, well, let's have a look at it then. Yes, the shell on its back could be made into a buckler, and he sort of just kind of examines it. You see him kind of wrap his knuckles along the material in several different places, along the shell on its back, along part of the shell on its head, and then he flips it over, examines the tail too. This material on the shell on its back appears to be the sturdiest. It's reminiscent of gold, but far harder. Gold is much more malleable than this. I could attempt to melt it down, but that wouldn't be good for our purposes of a buckler, if that's what you have your heart set on.
Indeed.
Very well. As for the rest of this,
Well, I don't really need the legs or the tail. If anyone else wants the tail, they could have it for something.
I'll take the
though,
tail.
If you
they
do
can
clean
turn
it
to, like,
out,
earrings.
save the innards.
What? I thought y'all were gonna clean it out.
No, I said I was going to kill it.
Well, he's not a bloody
No, you
butcher.
also said you were going to clean it out.
I know.
Well, I lied. Surprise, surprise.
Give me a jar or a bowl or something.
Yes, Martos is much more skilled at this.
certainly not. You hope you're not planning on gutting that thing in my shop. Your friends
I
have told me
take
you'd
it
do it
outside
outside.
I'm gonna just stand in the doorway.
All right, I suppose right out front.
Oi, Mato, save me the tail.
Oh my god.
Well, as far as I can tell, the materials itself that makes up most of the beetle's shell appears to be some form of metal or another. I can make you your buckler, but it will take a day or so. Hard to say exactly how long, as I've not worked with this material before. But a buckler is rather simple. As for price, this is unfamiliar materials, and it will be relatively difficult to work with a metal that hard.
It's a learning experience for you. If anything, I'm offering you an opportunity at expanding your skill set.
Right, of course. But I do need to be monetarily compensated for my work. Otherwise, the smithy goes under.
Naturally.
I suppose 100 gold would cover it.
What you got, Draven?
Not 100 gold.
Definitely not 100.
I don't even think our
Draven
party
cups his
combined.
hands. And Draven cups his hands and whispers to Sybil, I have 19 gold.
Oh, well, I'm not going to be able to help you much with that. I only have 17 gold.
Hey, Draven, that's 10 more than me.
Yes, well, I don't
We're
spend all my
poor.
money on alcohol.
I got 47.
What?
Yeah, I know. I have 47.
How did Marta just get 47 gold?
Hasn't been buying anything.
Listen,
I haven't
about that
bought
100
anything.
gold. What if I could give you some information to lower the price?
You have information worth 100 gold.
Well, I have multiple sources of information. Like how we, help me out here.
Look, I've
The death mold in the forest.
The
Know
death
about
mold,
that.
we found that, indeed.
All
We're
right,
We
following
know a lot
leads.
about it.
there's
We're
death
local experts.
mold in the forest, so I won't go there. All right,
Yes,
noted.
we've been putting a stop to it by defeating creatures affected by it.
I see, so it affects creatures as well, noted.
We captured an assassin who had been basing nearby.
I see. Assassins in the forest as well, noted.
Yes, keeping Lysindriel safe, of course.
Very good, very good. How noble.
Defeated a massive spider that was covered in fungal growths that had been abducting people from nearby Lysindriel.
Heavens, these woods are dangerous.
One day a giant centipede will roam the earth and destroy us all.
Yes, there's also a massive centipede. We did not defeat that, but knowing about it is probably
Yeah, fuck.
wise.
Probably raised the city and like, oh, that's too much. Okay.
And that's off to the northwest, in a cave.
Very well,
Don't
very
go
well.
there.
Of course. I shall still care.
Listen, that's about all I've got.
Come on, Draven. Let's just. We'll come back another time, whenever we have the gold.
Well, listen.
Maybe we can do a fundraiser.
He's
Information,
gonna fundraise.
not exactly my currency of choice. Gold serves me much better, but listen, I could likely knock some of the price off if you allowed me to keep the rest of the beetle.
Sorry, wits.
Well,
Yes,
that's
you can
fine.
have the rest.
Very well.
Even the innards.
I suppose I'll
Draven
keep
looks
them.
down
I
sadly.
could test them for any sort of properties as well, I suppose. All right. Then the shell is yours, and I will fashion it into a buckler. Knock a bunch of gold off. I'd say can do it for 20 gold then.
Oh, that's generous.
No, it's perfectly fair.
And the 20 gold will mostly go towards the strapping and labor of the buckler.
Draven walks outside, or walks into the doorway where Martos is. Martos,
Scooping just out. Yeah.
I need to take a small loan from you.
And the beetle.
Okay, I don't really know what to do with all this gold.
Yes, I just need. Let's see, I have 19 gold. He needs 20, and then I promised to buy you a custom-made blanket. So, look, you'll be paying for the blanket now, but I promise I will reimburse you.
But I shall give you gold, and then whatever gold for a blanket. I need a blanket.
All right, we'll find out how much the blanket costs and then deal with that. But for now, I just need 1 gold.
Okay.
Yeah, I assume you're giving it to him.
Yeah, I'm tossing it to you.
Okay, thank you. 20 gold. Draven will count it out into a bag and then hand it to the blacksmith.
All right. Very well. I'll get to work immediately. I'm excited to try out this material.
Indeed.
As for how long, you can check back tomorrow in the morning and see if I'm finished, though I can't guarantee.
All right. Well, I'll be back in the morning then. Thank you.
Very well. Just tell your companion there to leave the carapace with me when she's finished with her work.
Beetle.
All right then. I'll get to work then.
Okay.
Alright, Martos, let's go get you a Martos blanket now.
It's been so long since I've had a nice fresh blanket.
Oh, Draven. You know, there was a much better way to con that man.
What would you have suggested?
We could have left. I could have came back disguised as Tenneth, said that we sold the carcass to the forest god, and then he was going to purchase it for the god, and then that the god would reimburse him later.
Which you really have to tell me these things prior to me handing over gold.
Oh, well. Lesson learned. Just remember one thing, Draven. Rich people are stupid.
Duly noted.
I don't know if I'd call the blacksmith rich, but
He lives in a country club, essentially. He's rich enough.
The man has a home.
That's more than we
He's
can
a
say.
homeowner.
all right, this
That's
is the
more
map.
than we can say.
This is the map that refuses to load for me, so that we're in the blurry zone.
That's weird. I mean, it loads for me. It's like
Yeah.
almost instantly.
It's just always this map for some reason until I refresh. It's just really slow. So you walk back into the trailer where Lindis is hard at work, sewing, and she notices the door opening and closing and turns and says, "Oh, hello again. Was there something that you needed help with? Here to buy any clothing?"
Well, first off, thanks for the mask. I look amazing. Touch up on my mask.
Yes,
And
quite proud of that one.
I know you did good. I look like a little baddie.
Blankets, yes, I should have some. What exactly were you looking for? Like sheets or something warmer?
Do you have like fluffy or like woven?
Well, we have some fine elven linens. We also have pelts from some of the animals that the forest guard hunts.
Oh, what animal for the pelt? That sounds nice.
Well, we have wolves, I believe, at the moment.
That'd be nice. I'll take it.
All right. She begins to kind of rattle about in some of her dressers and eventually pulls out a long pelt kind of fashioned into a bit of a blanket that you can see is this sort of black and gray wolf pelt. And she says, "Here you are then. I could let that go for 4 gold."
Sold.
I could
Driven.
change the murders.
Driven bites the inside of his cheek. Just pay the woman Martos and I will owe you.
All right.
Oh,
Well, it's yours then.
that's good.
Just takes your gold from you. Was there anything else? Any repairs or adjustments needed?
Not on my end.
I think we're all good.
Very well. Come on back if you need anything else. My shop's usually open in the daytime.
All right.
Thank you.
What are you doing up?
Oh, it's a nice hat.
It is a nice sight.
Okay.
It's elven weaving. You make your way back out into the north grouping in the Sindriel, back to the forest around you, and can proceed wherever you'd like next.
What else? Oh yeah, Draven. I want to start getting some more gold by finding that one like really excitable elven boy who wants to know about the black mold and telling him about it.
Listen, Sybil, I'm in debt. Whatever you suggest to make money, I'm down for.
Yo, make up some other stuff
Oh.
about it too. They might get more money out of them. Like say it like can like fly off of the trees if you get too close.
Did it?
I don't know, but I don't care.
I think it might have actually done Limsicle.
Well, oh, even better. You can say that's how I got on her.
So what are we doing?
Oh, sorry. I was looking at the chat.
Oh, we're making money.
I think they're over this way.
All right, winding your way back through a clearing in the trees over towards the Kelmora estate. Points to anybody who remembered that.
I
Oh,
definitely
I
do.
don't remember anything in my life ever.
All I
I
got
remember-
written down was redhead.
I figured.
I
no one
remember all
remembered
the
that.
names. I just don't remember where they're located.
I remember that they're all blondes.
I got Leilatha Kelmora, Erithas Kelmora. I think those are the only two I wrote down.
Well, you're already doing better than me, so.
Yeah, Jay just made those up on the spot. He doesn't remember them.
Nah, they've existed for a while. It's just when you have so many elven names and then you have 3 simultaneous campaigns that are running, they just go completely out of your brain.
I think this giant swanky house is theirs. So
Indeed. This is one of the largest estates in Lysindria, this house in particular. So, presuming that you knock on the door.
oh yeah.
After a brief moment, an elven man with blonde hair opens. It's Arathis, who you've met before. And he says, "Ah, yes, I remember you. You can come in if you want."
Oh yeah.
Alright.
I had never chipped. Yeah, we have some information about the black mold if you want any.
Well, he ushers you inside the estate, and you may enter. One sec. There you go. All right. Come in. You can have a seat with us. More information on the mold from the forest, he said.
Oh yes, plenty.
Well, I'm
What
sure,
do you guys need? I'm a bad liar.
sure Father will likely want to hear this as well, so come on into the dining hall. You make your way into the dining hall where you see a few more of the Kelmors, the Patriarch, Obrindar, as well as one of the younger daughters, Leilatha. But you also see Ilsavel sitting at the table, who just sort of a look of recognition crosses her face, and she says, "Oh, hello."
Ah, dang it.
It's gonna be fine.
Greetings.
Well, hello.
Hi, Elsavel.
You wouldn't believe all the stuff we found out about that black mold.
Arathis says, "Here, one of you can have my seat. I'll stand."
Jay, you're role playing him exactly how I was hoping you would.
Us up now.
Now then, we were just talking with Ilsavel here, but you folks said that you had more information on the
The moth itself.
the mold from the woods, right? Ilsavel was
Yeah.
speaking a bit of that as well.
Welp.
Oh yes.
Well, the people behind it than the mold itself. But yeah, new mold stuff going on.
Ah yes, really, really dangerous stuff. It's truly astonishing the ravishing things it can do to living creatures.
I see, like what?
Ah, well, you see, we have even discovered that earlier on we had discovered it had injured a small Linsa folk.
Yes, you mentioned that. Ilsavel chimes in.
Yes, but we also discovered that it could even fly.
Fly? Ilsavel says.
Yes, it was very strange. We didn't really believe it at first.
I've
But,
not seen it do that. What triggered it flying?
well, we don't really know. But But still, that's how it got on that Limsafolk.
well-
After all,
What were you doing when it started flying? If
well,
we can,
fortunately,
if we can avoid doing that, then maybe we can avoid it flying at any of our own people.
oh, I'm not really sure what triggers it. We had watched it attack some creatures out in the forest. We don't really know what they did that aggravated it.
Oh, you mean
Fortunately,
you're not speaking of the time when I was with you? It was just another time.
no. This was another time after whenever we left to go find the people we think were behind it.
Oh, I see. You found more creatures then.
Yes, and
What
they
kind- What kind of
that's
creatures?
why. Just travelers and deer, just your common kind of folk. We had to help them out too and get them on their way.
We also did find another infected ivory amanita within a cave with spiders.
I see. Spiders, you said. She's got sort of like this leather-bound notebook that she's pulled out a ink pot and feather quill from her bag that she carries around, and she's kind of like jotting down what you guys are saying. Spiders, you said. Were the spiders showing signs of infection from the ivory amanita mold?
It was covered in ivory amanita. This wasn't just any other spider too. This was the brood mother.
Yes, I could provide visuals, but it takes a lot of effort on my part, and I can't do it for free.
I see. How big would you say it was, approximately?
Let's see, how big is this room?
It burned the whole house down big.
It ripped a hole in the wall of a cabin in the woods, dragged a woman into the cave.
Yes, like the
almost killed
fireplace over
her.
here. The hole was bigger than that fireplace.
Yeah,
Arathis
it was
looks
about
pretty.
the width of this table.
Arathis picked up on what you said there, Wits, that you could visually show it, and he says, "You can display the creature you saw. I'd like to see it."
Yes, well, that service isn't free. It takes quite a lot of resources for me to be able to do that.
You can persuade him if you want.
Would gladly persuade him. If I can find persuasion on my character sheet. 17.
He just kind of nods along and just says, "Well, I can compensate you.
Alright then.
10 gold, how's that sound?"
Yeah, 10 gold sounds fine.
All right, here. He just starts pulling out his coin purse and just stacks some coins in front of you. How's that?
Yeah, that's perfect.
I would like to see the creature.
Alright. Wit's over exaggerating like the effort that he needs to put to making a minor illusion.
Yeah.
He's like, give me just a moment. I need to prepare myself. He's kind of like squints hard and then like kind of mimicking like he's trying to use the force to hold some large object. He will make like a small little not to fit the full 5x5 cube, maybe like a 1x1, the spider on the table.
Arathis kind of squints and looks slightly disappointed. I thought you said it was big.
Well, it's hard for me to mimic it larger, but it was significantly larger than this.
Oh.
This is just a visual of what it looked like.
Ilseval chimes in. About how big in comparison to, I suppose, this table here, would you say it is? She's
Much larger than a table.
She's sort of also examining the creature and just kind of
Mhm.
scrawling little notes. You see her actually kind of sketch a little picture of a spider as well. She's drawing little
Oh.
mushrooms on its back.
Um,
Fascinating.
Actually, I've never tried this before, but I think I might know how to make it much bigger to show you all what it looks like. But that certainly won't be free. I won't be able to use magic for a long time.
You can make another persuasion if you want, Wits.
I would gladly make another persuasion.
Some will be slightly harder.
You're bleeding him dry.
21! Hell
Why
yeah!
Well, I can certainly.
Off your scam artist.
That's my third nat 20 this session.
Arathis just chimes in. I can certainly cover it. It's no issue. He stacks another 10 gold in front of you. How's that?
I don't know. I'm pretty reliant on my magic, but this will take an awful lot out of me. I won't be able to use magic maybe for a day or two.
Also, I was going to insight check you for pushing. She just kind of narrows her eyes a little bit. I don't think I want to see this thing any bigger. It's quite nasty looking as is.
Are you sure? It was truly a huge creature. It was quite astonishing to look at.
I believe you.
Are you sure you don't want to see her eyes?
Well,
Maybe,
look,
maybe we'll say, how about 15 gold instead of 10? I'm
persuasion check.
Alrighty then. 10.
You just kind of see him kind of count a couple gold in his jingling coin purse. Well, I've not got a ton on me right now. I can throw in another 3.
All right, you know what? That's fine. You all seem like a very nice bunch, so I won't try to take too much out of y'all.
He stacks another 3 coins on top of the 10 he gave you.
All right, but just know this is gonna take a second to do. Let me get out of my chair. You are getting a bargain, though. You will the amount the amount that I've charged for some people are significantly more. All right, what's gonna come over here just to have some room?
Ilseville gives you a slight eye roll when you said that last bit, but she's not really putting up much of a protest.
Right, he's like kind of putting his hand on his head like he's having some sort of headache. He's like, all right, come on. And then he will use silent image to make the full size of the spider right in this area here.
All right, the Shroom Weaver in its full glory manifests in the Kelmora family's living room. And Arathis just sort of quickly dances his way past everybody to take a look at it, just kind of moving all around it. Incredible, it's massive. Ilseville just sort of also examining it, making a few more notes. Indeed, I didn't think, even with the mold, that the Amanita could be pushed that far, but this is even worse than I thought.
Yes, we actually slew that creature, so if you would like to take samples of it, there's a cave to the northwest of here. However, I would recommend bringing plenty of guards. It's quite dangerous.
So many bugs. The source of infection seems to have been the spider eating a infected host.
Did you get all the notes you wanted to take from it?
Yes, that should be good, thanks.
Which will make it disappear and kind of fall to the ground and be out of breath.
I'm just picturing you trying that on the Venwar family and how differently would it went. As they just laugh you out of the room.
That is why we did not do this.
Oh man, at some point I was kind of hoping you're gonna ask him to roll a performance check or something.
You're lucky Arathis is a himbo.
Which kind of struggles to get up. That took a lot out of me. Oh, I haven't made illusions that big in a long time.
Ilseville speaking now. You said that you went down into the caves. Did you find any more of what you said you were looking for? You were talking about the whole assassin's business and all that, right?
He did actually, yeah. He's in town right now.
Oh, really? What else did you find out?
Yes, Sybil, what else did we find out?
Oh, well.
What else did we find out?
Remember the black-haired elven woman we were talking to you about?
Yes, the one that you mistook for me and then tackled me, of course.
Sorry about that.
It's
Got
alright.
confirmation though that she's
Just
with them.
bruises.
She was going by Beatrice here, but I believe her name was Sarah. Raven, what was her name? I don't remember her name.
Beira.
Sarah.
Well, at least it's another name she goes by. We don't know if that's her given name.
Beatrice is likely a false alias.
Beira. Beira. Why does that name sound familiar? I can't place it.
Yes, also she's prone to disappearing into thin air. Not of the typical invisibility variety.
Disappearing into thin air? You mean like what your friend did to me?
Huh?
Not quite, no.
Yeah.
Specifically, it was described as like melting into thin air, I believe.
Indeed.
Yes.
Oh.
This prisoner was also quite proficient in magic, and she said that she knows what it looks like when someone turns invisible, and she said it was nothing like that at all.
I see. Melt into the air. That is odd. I certainly don't remember you doing any melting when you were invisible. So I believe whatever that person's saying is likely correct. Do you have any more details about it, or is that all?
Oh, she's working with the guild Silent Song, and particularly with a man named Vincent. Hey, Wits, if you're not too absolutely exhausted from your horrible ordeal, can you show us what Vincent looks like? And maybe what she looks like? I forgot.
I don't know. I mean, that big image took a lot out of me.
If you want, I have a snack here. That'll perk your spirits up a little more.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, I'll take one.
Okay, here's some of your alcohol berries.
Actually, I appreciate that because I can get my 1 health back now.
Jay, give me a DC. Draven's gonna have to make a constitution check to not roll his eyes.
Yeah, go for it. Alright, you roll your eyes. You roll one of the berries across the table to Wits then, Sybil.
So just eat it up.
Alright, you pop it into your mouth and bite down. There was a little bit more juice in it than you expected. Almost an unreasonable amount that would actually fit within that berry. And it tastes like a very kind of sweet wine.
I'm so happy you finally got this, Sybil.
As you drink down the juice of the berry, you feel your head just ever so slightly, a bit of a buzz going now.
So, normal day for Wits.
And you heal 2 hit points, of course.
Alright, perfect. Oh, these berries are so useful. See, whenever we were down in that cave, we didn't really know what these berries were, but we took some time down there and we learned more, and we were just able to find these out. I didn't know they made you feel this good.
They're alcoholic good berries. They're right up his alley.
Alrighty then.
Phil just kind of nods, making notes of that too. I see, I didn't know they could do that. Alcoholic.
Naturally, they're gonna be my new favorite now. That was actually the first time I've ever had one.
Oh, you can't take all of them. You only get like 1, maybe 2 a day max. No more than that. You're not stealing all my berries.
Well, I'm not stealing your berries, just borrowing them.
Mm-hmm.
Borrowing implies giving back. I don't think you want them back when he's done with them, Sybil.
No.
Well, you're certainly more than welcome to.
I'm gonna start charging you for them.
Alright then. I do feel a bit more up and at 'em, so let me see if I can get the Vincent back up. Similarly to when he made the small one, he kind of looks like he struggles a little bit and then makes the bust of Vincent on the table.
Alright. You see kind of everybody examine them, and Arathis just kind of shrugs. Ilseville says, no, Not seen much of this man.
Oh, not at all?
Oh.
All right.
Shot.
All right, which will end illusion. All right, then how about this? And then kind of struggles a little bit more this time. You know, he's getting a little tired from this.
Of course.
And he'll make the portrait of the black-haired woman. I already forgot her new name.
Beira.
Yeah, Beira.
There's your spelling.
There you go. That's Beira. All right.
So you make the portrait of the black-haired woman, and Ilseville says, well, certainly could be the figures that I saw around that hut in the woods. But again, I didn't see them all that well.
Actually, didn't our assassin friends say that they had a meeting recently there? So it very much could have been them. I don't think a lot of people go wandering around the woods around here.
Well, you're probably right about that. The woods can be a bit dangerous. I am interested more about this melting into thin air.
Didn't get much more about it.
Yeah, it's kind of hard
God,
to
Patron.
kind of hard to
Yeah,
work with when Yeah, it's kind of hard to work with when it's just based off of an eyewitness and not seeing it for yourself.
I see it is a tad vague. I agree. But it brings to mind a memory.
Oh, what kind of memory?
Well, I suppose if you folk aren't quite from around here, then you've not heard of the spirit of the forest.
Actually, we ran into something fitting that description. I'm not sure if it's the exact spirit of the forest you're referring to, but
Ilseville,
they ran into us on our way here.
Ilseville lights up when you say that. You've seen him then?
He approached us when we were on our way to Lysindriel, actually.
He approached you? Do you mean you've spoken
They
with him?
approached. Yeah. I am a druid, and they said that they didn't see druid or dreamers very often, or something along those lines.
Dreamers. I see. I've only ever seen the spirit of the forest once when I was younger. I remember just seeing it at a distance, and it melted into thin air, much like you were describing.
That was what came to mind for me too when the assassin was describing them. Really hope we haven't forgotten those.
I see. Are you four still intending to pursue this woman and the assassins?
Yes, and we could certainly use some funds for travel. Draven looks behind him.
He's just staring at you, stone-faced.
We got 20 something gold out of his son, like.
They're rich. It's okay.
You know, defending Lysindriel and protecting it from all manner of beasts, it really takes a toll on our supplies.
Ilseville kind of chimes in and says, Ilseville says, I think I might be able to help.
Yeah?
Though this is mostly untested theory at this point.
I love untested theories, go on.
Well, ever since I saw the spirit of the forest, I've been trying to understand his motives, I suppose, his behaviors. And I put together something. I wanted to speak with him.
Oh.
I've got something that might work.
But you have a way of contacting him?
I wouldn't phrase it like that. Rather, I think we could summon the spirit of the forest.
That sounds like
What?
a really good lead, and we don't have any of those right now. Yeah, that sounds great. Let's do that.
If you say that you've spoken with him, then perhaps we could speak with him about this melting into thin air problem.
Sounds like a great idea.
If it is reminiscent of his capabilities, maybe he could explain it and help us find some sort of lead.
Well,
Well, the theory that I currently have, we need to find a clearing in the woods. We can't do it in town.
okay. Is there a certain time of day that we need to do this?
Well, ideally right at noon. Though again, this is mostly theory.
What time is it right now?
It's still the morning. You guys have only done a little bit of walking around and talking, so I'd say it's maybe if you guys. Oh wait, no, you guys didn't. Never mind. You guys walked all the way back, so that'd be about an hour, and then talked a little bit. Had the Venwars do that. Another hour. Let's say it's about 10, maybe, depending on how early you woke up.
Okay, 2 hours. Would the
Um,
rest of you all be up for that? Oh, sorry.
No, you can go ahead.
I will
Just us
follow
rest
along.
Yeah, family's up for it. I'm with them.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, we can try it today. If you had other things to do, we could try it tomorrow as well.
Anybody else have anything to do? For noon today? Or general today?
Hang on, let me check my schedule. And he opens up his book and starts looking through.
You already know you got nothing.
I've concluded my business.
Yeah, I guess I'm free.
Into the woods of darkness.
All right,
If
then.
I see a bunch of nightmare creatures again, I'm not be happy.
Just give me a moment to head down to the other estate, and I'll grab some of my things, and I'll meet you by the front entrance to the Sindriel. Well, if that's all, then I'll just go run and grab my stuff.
Oh, yeah, of course.
All right.
She gets up from the table and makes her way to the door, and then kind of stops and turns and bows to Obrindar slightly and says, "Thanks for having me over," and then makes her way out the door.
Hey.
Arathis just kind of sits down in the empty seat now and says, "Well, that was certainly interesting. Suppose you folk are on your way then."
I believe we are.
Yep, I guess so.
I think.
All right. Well, if you have more time in the future, you can come back and we'll have lunch.
Oh, that'd be
That
lovely.
was very
Rather talk
fun.
about
Thank
that.
you.
But of
Very
course,
marvelous.
you'll be the first to see if we find anything new. I'm sure.
Let you know everything new we find out about your mold.
As you make your way out,
Personal
you just kind of hear Obrindar just say, "Indeed, good day."
Draven mumbles under his breath after he says good day. Would be better if you would have given me money.
Oh man,
Okay.
Draven just doesn't have that magic touch that Witz has, you know?
this is like that was great. That was a very fun bit.
Witz's like backstory is that he is like a con man, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so that's it. Draven knows how to lie about himself, but lying about like other stuff like that, he's not as skilled at.
So you make your way back out into Lysindriel to, I guess you have a little bit of time, but you can make your way towards the entrance to meet Ilsevel, but that's where we'll end the session for today because we're right at 3 hours before we get into something else.
Nice.
We'll
Oh, yeah.
Cut that off.
Good session.
set off with
See-
Ilsevel next time.
See, we almost made back our gold.
Well, if you share it, yeah.
It's pretty much earned that by himself, honestly.
Well,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I wasn't expecting any from that. I mean, that was all you, man.
Hey, you know, when someone wants something enough, they'll pay whatever.
Really want to see what it looked like. She was like, yeah.
Although I like how pressing Jay was making us about asking questions and stuff.
That was really fun because let me go to the other screen here. That was fun because I didn't feel like I was just metagaming you because Ilsevel genuinely would have wanted to know all that stuff just from pure curiosity. So that was really fun for me.
Oh yeah, I've already got things thinking about for the next time we come give him information.
Good.
Gonna make some good money from that himbo.
Oh god. See how much money we can make before they realize.
Yeah, next time we come back, I got a ritual I'm gonna prepare for them.
Oh my gosh. I kind of feel bad
I
for
want to see you sweating, okay, man?
Yeah, you have to like you've got to like do a whole performance upstage that.
The new game is see how much I can get away with before Jay makes you make a performance check.
I will say, do not take Oberndar for a fool. His son is a himbo, but he is not.
Uh-oh.
That's why I didn't. I considering of all the times we've been there and he hasn't said a word other than just hello or goodbye, I did not see him as the type to try to come.
He's a serious man. Is there anything that interferes with next week?
No, I don't think so.
I don't believe so.
Very well.
I'm good.
No.
If that changes, feel free to let me know, but we will say that next Whispers in the Woods session will be next week at 7 p.m. Eastern. The next actual stream, for those who don't know the schedules, will be Friday unless anything changes. Most likely past 8, probably around 8:30 is the usual time, though we kind of change around a little bit with them just because of their weird schedule. So it'll most likely be 8:30ish. We'll get back into that. They just found a nobleman who might be tied to the cult that they're investigating, and then as soon as they started to talk to that nobleman, the door to the hut was kicked down, and in walked a new mysterious figure who they have not quite found out who he is yet. So tune in to next episode of Seas of Sand on Friday if you want to find out who he is.
Oh.
I guarantee it will be fun. And then the other campaign that I run on this channel is Silver Song, which is 7 p.m. Eastern on Mondays. This Monday, I might need to make an update. I'll do it for everybody else too, but just while I'm musing about these things now. The Monday is... What day? Yeah, that is the 20th. So that's an election day for us. So depending on how things go with that, I might need to start slightly later, just because we might have some lines. But regardless, It'll still happen. It just might be pushed back slightly. But I'll make an announcement about that on either the Twitter or the Discord. Both links exist in this chat in just 1 second. Feel free to join either of those. The Discord has memes and art channels with all sorts of fan art and character art and stuff like that. There's chat channels for all the different campaigns where you can talk about your theory on what is happening. And my Twitter is mostly just updates, and I retweet some fan art and stuff. So check that out if you want to be up to date on when I change sessions. If you ever miss a stream and it's not on my Twitch anymore, it'll be on the archive, which is on YouTube, Grand Lorien on YouTube, but the link is right there. And if you want to learn more about the world, which is Grand Lorien, of course, the realm, it is a living world where every campaign takes place within it, and can affect the outcomes of other groups or groups yet to come in the future, as the players themselves sort of shape a good chunk of the world. Then you can check out the World Anvil for info on that, where it's basically like a wiki of all the factions, locations, deities, and some of the characters that exist within this world. For reference, this campaign takes place in the Feylands, or Kael Taihera, which is in the Glimmering Isles, which are a series of isles off to the west of the main Elder Isle. So you can read up about the area here if you want to read. Other than that, that's all I have to say. We are getting closer and closer to that 100 followers, so if you haven't followed, feel free to do so. When we reach 100 followers, I'll do some unique stuff. We'll do something fun then, just to celebrate it. So look forward to that. Getting closer. Other than that, that's all I have to say. So nobody else has anything to add. Then
I want to add, have a good night, everyone.
that was what I was going to say next.
Oh,
Beat to it.
Well, without further ado, then, have a good night, everybody. And I will see everybody
good night.
on most likely Friday. Take care.